Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here to do a 4K review deep dive into Scream Factory's recent release of one of my favorite vampire movies ever. I am talking about John Carpenter's Vampires. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so vampires. Man, this was one that just like 4 or 5 months ago was on my movies that we need on 4K list, and I guess you ask and you receive for once. This is one that I only have an ancient DVD for until now, and holy crap, this thing is good. This is, I mean, it's early in the year. But this is a contender for one of the top 4Ks of the year, in my opinion, and we're going to get into it. Of course, I love this movie. It's from 1998. I just graduated high school. I was a big Carpenter fan. I'm still a big Carpenter fan. And this came out. I'm a big James Woods fan. I always loved James Woods. Videodrome is my favorite Cronenberg movie, and of course, James Woods in that. I love the movie Diggstown. I mean, I'm just a big James Woods fan. Like, I even loved him at playing himself in Entourage. So this movie, like, people evaluate this movie wrong. It's got a bad rep in some ways. This is a Western. It's a horror Western. That's what it is. This is a group of anti-heroes. Like, this is before the whole anti-hero thing got to be big. This is like, James Woods leads a group of guys. I mean, they're just those guys that they might drink too much. They might party too much. They might, be with prostitutes. They might do all kinds of stuff, but they work for the church, doing the dirty work to keep everyone else safe that no one else can do. And they're those guys that maybe they're rough around the edges, but in the moment of truth, they do the right thing. They'll sacrifice themselves. They'll go to war to protect other people. So that is like the definition of the anti-hero. James Woods is essentially an Old West gunslinger in this movie who is a head vampire hunter, Jack Crow. And I just totally dig this movie, and it's shot like a Western in a lot of ways, with these big landscapes and horizons and stuff like that. Like John Ford famously said, don't ever put the horizon right in the middle, put it at the top or the bottom. Like, you see that in this movie, right? You see just visually interesting, just striking stuff that looks like you're watching a Western. So what happens with this movie, and we're going to jump into the 4K stuff on it, what happens with this movie with the restoration is you end up getting all the best stuff from a 4K Western, like how great Westerns look in 4K, and it combines with all the best stuff that you get from how great horror can look in 4K. So those two genres, maybe more than anything, stick out in 4K because of the visual nature of them, and everything that you're looking at, and the contrast of colors and darks and lights and daytime and nighttime and light beams and reds and all that kind of stuff. They pop. This has the best of both of those worlds in this movie. It's not just because I'm a fan. Like Risha, who doesn't know anything about 4Ks, like she can tell you that the colors pop off on this. My buddy Chance and Jen, they were over here. We just looked at it for a second, and you could be like, I mean, they were like, holy crap, look at that. Like, it's one of those like showstoppers. This is one of the ones that, like, my stepdad, who knows nothing about 4Ks, like this movie, and it was The Searchers, I put in, and he just found himself. He's like, damn, I'm not a fan of these movies, but this makes me just want to watch it because it looks so good. So it shows that off in 4K, and it is a native 4K, and it is a brand new full 4K restoration from the camera negative. I try to go in, just a quick reminder on this every time. A 4K restoration and a 4K scan are different. Restoration can be done before and after the scan. It involves working and repairing the actual film itself and things that you can do to it to prep it for the scan. Then it's scanned in and gets into a digital space. And now you can continue the restoration digitally, you know, with new color grade, new like fixing scratches, other blemishes, all that kind of stuff. You can do it there. So they're kind of two different things. I just kind of remind that every time. Also, any footage that I show you here that I can show you, it's my 4K camera just recording my OLED, LC3 OLED off my Panasonic UB820 player. So you're going to deal with compression. It's just a recording of a screen, everything else. It's just for reference, right? It looks way better in person, and your mileage will vary depending on your setup. But it looks outstanding. You've got the restoration from the 4K negative. It's got Dolby Vision, HDR10, so you got all that. It's got the DTS 5.1 and 2.0 audio in here, so there's no Atmos track. I don't have a full Atmos setup yet. I'm still trying to complete that. But for you Atmos lovers that didn't find an Atmos track, it is on a 100 gigabyte disc. Screen Factory they don't always do 100 gigabyte disc. Like I did a review recently, I'm not sure which one you see first, on Galaxy of Terror. Older film, probably less information. They had to use from the interpositive, so it probably didn't make as big of a file. They put it on a 66 gigabyte disc. This is on a 100 gigabyte disc, so it just gives you a little more room to let the file be as big as it possibly can. Now, they still had to shrink it because it was probably 280 gigabytes, I'm guessing, somewhere between 225, 325 gigabytes as a file would be my guess. Could have been bigger when it first came out. So there you go. It's on a 100 gigabyte disc. But I will say there aren't really any new features. You have the audio commentary with John Carpenter on the 4K. It doesn't say that it's new. I'm guessing that it is not new. And then on the disc 2, because it's two disc set, you have the Blu-ray, and it just has the movie over again on Blu-ray, the same audio commentary, and then it has the ported over special features like Time to Kill Some Vampires, interview with Carpenter, the producers and the cinematography on the movie, Jack the Slayer, an interview with James Woods, the first vampire, interview with actor Thomas Ian Griffith. That's Terry Silver from The Karate Kid. He plays Valak, the badass, and what I think a very scary, intimidating, and aggressive vampire in this movie. You got the original making of featurette, theatrical trailer, all that kind of stuff, but not a lot of new stuff. It all went into the scan and restoration, and that does not miss. This is early contender for that high. I mean, the colors, the clarity, the grain is there. If you're a grain hater, you're going to see a little bit of grain, but it's so tight. It's so good. It's so organic and filmic. It looks like it's supposed to. It looks like watching cinema. It just looks like watching cinema. It's badass. It's a good 4K. They don't give me anything. I don't know if Screen Factory gives anybody anything, to be honest with you. I earn nothing by telling you that I think this is awesome. I'm a huge Carpenter fan. You know this. This is a movie that I wanted on 4K. But, you know, the opposite thing can happen. Like, when you hype something up and you want something so bad, you can tend to be let down for when you finally get it because you've built up the possibilities so much in your mind. This was the opposite. This over-delivered to me, like in every single way. I don't get into bit rates because that stuff varies so much based on what the camera was shooting in that precise second. So those the megabits per second, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't mean as much as you think it does. It just don't. Because it has a lot to do with what was being shot, how much light was going into the camera. It can have to do with your cables, how fast they are, how fast they can transfer to your all kinds of stuff. There's too many variables for that. And it's in fleeting microseconds. So I don't get into those. I can tell you how good it looks. It looks amazing. So you get the original cover art here. Now, I didn't get the posters this time. I didn't. You get the original cover art. I just got the one slip. They do have a set with 2 slips. So I got the original. On the inside, it's original. I don't know if this is reversible or not. So no, they didn't make it reversible, which is odd because they have like new commissioned art for this too. You would think that they would make the slip reversible. It's not. I kind of don't like that. Because it would have been nice to just buy this one set and you could have the original artwork out here and flip this over and get the other artwork on the inside. But they didn't make it two-sided. But it's a 2-disc set, Blu-ray, 4K. You don't get any, you have to buy the other set to get the posters and stuff. So nothing else comes with it. There's no booklet or anything. I think I bought it. It was $35.99. And I'm probably gonna do a video soon about about prices of physical media, because I think people have a misconception that they've actually risen higher than overall than they have. Because I've got 20-plus-year-old Blu-rays that were $35 from the studio. So, but it's the average price. I highly recommend it. In the movie, James Woods, like I said, he leads this group of vampire killers. They clean out a nest of vampires at the beginning of the movie, and in there happens to be Valak, maybe the first vampire. Badass. I'm telling you, I was like 19 when this came out, and he creeped me out. He still does. He's aggressive, believable, scary. I think Thomas Ian Griffith is like 6'6", so that adds to the imposing nature of it. And I think he does it flawlessly. He goes to seek revenge on this group of vampire hunters, and James Woods and Daniel Baldwin, one of the Baldwins, Daniel Baldwin escape, and they're on the hunt, and they find out a conspiracy within the Catholic Church and how vampires were created and all this. I love the mythology you throw in there. And then it just becomes like the gunslinger versus the outlaw is what it really does the rest of the time. And the funny thing is, it's almost outlaw versus outlaw, because you have James Woods playing kind of an anti-hero type. But they get a cool other sidekick and a new priest that helps them out. And there's a girl that they pick up that is connected to Valak, so they kind of use her. And they're in the midst of trying to fight him and stop him. They're uncovering more of this conspiracy and the mythology behind vampires and how the Catholic Church connected to that over history. I think it's super cool. I think it's a very underrated John Carpenter movie. It's very violent. There's a lot of action in it. Lots of kind of stunt work, lots of gunfire, all that kind of stuff that maybe you wouldn't expect from a vampire movie. It's in here, and in glorious, and I mean glorious 4K. I mean, it's that good. Like, I've put it on just to play in the background when I'm over here editing, just so I can see, because it just, like the red, I wish I could show you guys that. Like the way the red in the credits just lit up my whole room in here, coming from the TV. Nothing else, it's just so vibrant. I'll make sure I try to show you the title screen. But I mean, all of this, like the scenes in here with the fire, where they drag vampires out into the daylight. Fire always looks good in 4K. But I mean, it stresses a 4K from the beginning, because they're out here towards sunset. They're out in these big sweeping landscapes. And then they go into this darkened house because vampires are hiding out in there. They're blocking out the sun. So you have darkness, you have bright outside as their vampires are getting dragged out into the light. You have fire, you have light, you have dark haunted house vibes on the inside with streams of light. So it stresses the ability of the cameras, the film, the 4K, and it's flawless. It's flawless the way it does it. It's just pure cinema the way it does it. And then I'm a sucker for neon. There's the Sun God Motel that they're at, that the vampire hunters are holed up at. And it has the big, beautiful, old school Route 66 neon style neon sign for the hotel. Motel would be more accurate. And you see Valak walking under it in the dark. And goodness gracious, if I can show you the video, it's not going to do it justice the way it pops. The clarity, all of it, but still retaining the filmic look. I mean, I know I'm sounding like way over the top. I don't care if you buy it or not. Like, but you should if you like Carpenter and you like great 4Ks, because it's that good. It's that good. And yes, I like the movie, so maybe I'm a little biased on that, but I love Galaxy of Terror as well, and I give you the honest opinion on that 4K too. So, yeah, I'm excited because I rarely do things live up to your hopes. And this didn't just live up to them, it surpassed them. I enjoy the movie. It's a fun ride, action-packed, got some mythology in there, got some Western vibes, lots of action, anti-hero, the rugged guy doing good. I just love that whole concept. I think John Carpenter has a hidden like home run here in his filmography that people don't talk about a lot. And I'm just glad to see that the 4K lived up to it. Could have used some new extra features though. And I'm the last one to complain about that, because I know that sometimes like the margins for making money on these is so small that if you have to pay all these actors, or you have to pay the director or whoever big money to come in and talk about it just for special features, and you start SAG residuals differently again, all this, it could just totally wipe out like most of your profits. And you can't do this for charity, right? Like they got to make money to keep making more movies for us. So, but it would have been nice to, like, maybe you could have got Thomas Ian Griffith, because he's doing Cobra Kai and stuff like that right now. Maybe, you could have at least got like some secondary people. One or two would have been nice, but you know what? You do have a lot of other features on there. So if you're like me and you never bought the Blu-ray, you just only have the ancient DVD, they're all new to you. So there you go. But that's what I got for you this time. Trying to do more 4K reviews from my filmmaker point of view and as a giant fan, because a lot of you guys keep asking, hey, can you do some more 4K reviews? Mix those in there. So I'm going to try to do that too. But we do everything here. 4K reviews, physical media news, lists, rankings, movie recommendation lists. I love doing those and bringing those to you, and pretty much everything here, live streams. We do it all. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel so much. If you want to help support the channel so I can get more 4Ks, I say that all the time because nobody's ever going to send me anything for free, probably because I'm going to pick it apart from a filmmaker standpoint and a fan standpoint, and I'm just going to tell you the truth, whether it's sent to me for free or not. But if you want to help me, you can join the channel as a member below at my Patreon link, or right here on YouTube, a couple dollars a month, and I'm going to do it director style. You get your name and lights on every single video, and behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, and so much more, and it helps support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.